Hey everyone, it's me Max or Silverhammer back today with another YouTube video. Today we're back on Strategus. I just want to let everyone know Eagle 6 posted it, but the Open League is available now for registration on the podium for Strategus. So if you were interested in ever trying to get into more serious competitive play in the form of tournament format, and you haven't qualified for the Expert Master or Grandmaster leagues yet, consider joining the Open League. The more players we can get, the better. And yeah, just wanted to put that in there before I get to the bulk of this video. Very simple. All you have to do is just, have 20 games under your belt or something like that. I mean, you can read the whole thing on here. And yeah, it's pretty simple. So that's coming up here pretty quick. So that's pretty awesome. That's in addition to the USA Championships that are taking place on Stratego.com, just as an FYI. But anyways, getting into the bulk of today's video. I'm going to be showing this game that I recently played against Miss Adia. I don't know if I said her name right. Might not have. It's basically a very simple concept of what to do when people start lottoing. It's best to not freak out and just try to continue taking control of the game. So, by the way, this setup is it's a little tricky. This bomb is kind of meant to be tricky. You know, it's meant for tricks, right? And the problem is when you go with a setup that's meant for tricks, you got this really aggressive double captain, opening major, extra wedge. There's other some fundamentals like these back two rows probably aren't going to be moving a lot, except for maybe that captain. Spies next to the general. It's kind of just a weird deal, so you kind of just have to play really precise, if that makes sense, I guess. But anyways, she's opening a lot in the center here. I'm kind of just trying to attack on a lane. So she's grabbing a lot of space in the center there, like I said. And yeah. So what's tricky about opening with a major here is, yeah, I get this lieutenant, but now I've just painted a huge target for myself, right, with this major, right? So now, if I was the opponent, I'd be doing everything in my power to grab this major because the major is easily the trickiest piece in your army, right? Because it's still very valuable. Like it can kill, like basically, I think the statistic is, it can kill, like 80% of the board, but or 80% to trade or kill. Like it can't kill bombs and the top four pieces, right? So losing it is very difficult, but defending it is also very difficult. Meaning, like, you're not going to be able to defend them easily. So they become targets pretty quickly because they're very sought after to grab, and it's also pretty bad if you lose them. So you just got to be able to handle it. I mean, yes, I have a marshal here to defend my major, but like, it's also not insanely ideal. And you kind of just know. And that piece had moved. If we go back, piece had moved, so it's not like it was a blind hit on this spy. It was just like he hadn't taken me yet, or she hadn't taken me yet, so I just kind of assumed I was good. And then I scout this major, so I kind of get lucky here a little bit, honestly. So like this whole sequence was kind of lucky with my major. Sometimes you have to be prepared to just lose the piece for the information and hope that you get something better than a colonel. Losing a known major to a colonel isn't particularly ideal. But yeah, it's playable. Again, kind of way aggressive there with the colonel. Definitely gonna pick that up with the marshal. Sorry, I'm like experiencing some like congestion, so I really apologize. But yeah, so I pick up that free colonel at that point for the lieutenant. And then again, just kind of no fear. So sometimes there's going to be moments in a game where your opponent just has no fear, especially when you're playing rank 0 through about, I'd say 15 to 20 on Stratego.com, or anything less than like pretty much 200 ELO on Strategus, your opponent's just going to have no fear sometimes. And they're going to perfectly somehow lotto around your setup. Now, for instance, in this particular scenario, if the Marshal chooses to go down further, the game is over at that point. Me being up a Marshal and a Colonel is going to be too devastating to come back from. But as you can see, my pieces are just perfectly aligned in a way where it's not really ideal. My spy is close, but it's not quite accessible yet. My Marshal isn't quite there to defend. So, if executed correctly, this Marshal could take out a lot more pieces. So I moved my lieutenant up to get my spy over, and loaded a couple pieces. What really frustrated me here was why did we not attack this bomb? Is it overly obvious that it's a bomb? I don't think that it is. Yes, I've moved a lot of pieces on this column here, and it's not moved, but again, so accurately scouts the bomb, and then it hits this piece, and then hits this piece. So now, normally I would be freaking out because now my advantage is dwindling. I got up a whole kernel, and now my advantage is dwindling to successful lotto, right? She's picked up 5 pieces. She's literally lottoed 5 pieces, which is not insignificant. That is a good 1/8 of your setup, right? That's a good chunk of your setup. Got a major, captain, whatever the other couple pieces were, a couple scouts, stuff like that. 6 pieces now have been lottoed by this Marshal. And all of it's so unnecessary. All of it was so unnecessary. Any of it could have been a bomb, and the game would have just been over if any of those were bombs. 7 pieces now. 8 pieces now. 8 pieces lottoed. That is 1/5. That is 20% of my setup has been lottoed by this Marshal. Again, you can't just freak out and then start lottoing in response. You're probably just going to find bombs, okay? Now, again, I'm playing against a player who ultimately I felt comfortable defeating even down material. But again, that concept still applies to anything. You have to be able to dial yourself in and not get overwhelmed and just say, well, if you're going to lotto, I'm going to lotto. Because you're going to find bombs, whereas your opponent doesn't. And that's just how life is. That's just how it goes. You know what I mean? And now this bomb's hurting me. Because I didn't follow proper fundamentals, this bomb now hurts me where I can't easily pinch this Marshal in the way. And my spy's going to be in the way because I have to keep sifting back and forth. So I'm going to waste time, and I can't adequately two-square this Marshal because the bomb. Figured that was the general because it made sense to me, so I exposed my general when I maybe shouldn't have. Again, you really shouldn't be wanting to trade even in her position when she seemingly is up material. I'm not sure why she's trading when my Marshal's known. Just come in with the general and start taking these pieces, but whatever. Scouts the other bomb, which at this point I'm really frustrated with. It's how are you getting so much value out of your scouts? But whatever. So I start coming up with the general. That piece hadn't moved, by the way, and now it's moved back. And I was able to pick up a free major. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not dead in the water. Go in between these 2 pieces and pick this one up for free. It's just a sergeant, but any piece counts. Again, it's not lottos because they've all moved, obviously. So I get my Marshal ready to defend against a potential general. Then I get my general in over here to oppose these pieces that have moved. I might have forgotten that had moved, so that's my bad, but I've swapped generals. I could have picked up 1 piece there, but this is what it is. And this, again, that was just completely unnecessary. I'm pretty sure this colonel was known. Hold on. Was the colonel known? Okay, not up to that point. But still, you can adequately deduce that that's colonel. I have both my colonels still left, but it is what it is. Pick up the major. And then she just decides to go down and try this lotto. My spy's obviously there. So, again, typically people who are lottoing, they try to continue lottoing, and that's going to end up resulting in a bad result for them. So like, even though she was able to lotto like 20% of my setup, basically 25%, whatever the number was, keeping calm, using your pieces, your information that you do know to, sort of counterattack, like that general play over here, being able to capture up a couple pieces that I kind of pinned together. That's what you should focus on. Don't just lotto back, because that's not going to be very good for you. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. It's very simple, but it's kind of a good demonstration of just don't panic when you get lottoed. Try not to. I often do, especially on stream. I'll start like getting mad and stuff. But if you're a really good player, unlike me, you'll just keep your cool and move your pieces in a way that's gonna help your setup. Don't have bombs in the way, right? And yeah. Anyways, if you did enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Later.